These are the feasts of Yahuah, set apart convocations, which you shall proclaim at their appointed times. On the 14th day of the first month at twilight is Yahuah's Passover, and on the 15th day of the same month is
the Feast of Unleavened Bread to Yahuah. 7 days you must eat unleavened bread, from Feast of Passover to the Feast of Unleavened Bread,
from Feast of Salvation to Feast of New Life.
Of the Feast of Unleavened Bread is this: Yahusha, the true Passover Lamb, died to deliver us from our life of sin and darkness. Now because we belong to Him, we are called to be set apart as He is set apart.
The Feast of Unleavened Bread reminds us, as redeemed children of Elohim, that we are called to new life, a life of obedience, a life empowered by Yahuah's word and the Ruach, a life of rest in Yahusha. That is the message of the Feast of Unleavened Bread, from Feast of Salvation to Feast of New Life.
Unleavened bread is bread without yeast. Yeast is small, yet it spreads quickly through the dough. It affects everything around it, just like sin does to us.
It may start small with a thought in our mind, but it grows quickly into something we do. Soon it affects our whole life and everyone around us.
The Feast of Unleavened Bread reminds us to get rid of sin as soon as we see it in our lives. A set-apart life of obedience is the message of the Feast of Unleavened Bread. From Feast of Salvation to the Feast of New Life. But the message of the Feast of Unleavened Bread is this: Yahusha, the true Passover Lamb, died to deliver us from our life of sin and darkness. Now because we belong to Him, we are called to be set apart as He is set apart. The Feast of Unleavened Bread reminds us, as redeemed children of Elohim, that we are called to new life, a life of obedience, a life empowered by Yahuah's word and the Ruach, a life of rest in Yahusha. That is the message of the Feast of Unleavened Bread, from Feast of Salvation to Feast of New Life.
Do you not know that a little leaven's the whole lump? Therefore purge out the old leaven, that you may be a new lump, since you truly are unleavened. For indeed Messiah,
Our Passover,
was sacrificed for us.
therefore let us keep the feast,
Not with old leaven,
not with the leaven of malice and wickedness,
but with the unleavened bread of sincerity and truth.
from Feast of Salvation to Feast of New Life. But the message of the unleavened bread is this: Yahusha, the true Passover Lamb, died to deliver us from our life of sin and darkness. Now because we belong to Him, we are called to be set apart as He is set apart. The Feast of Unleavened Bread, supreme children of Elohim,
That we are called to new am the living bread which came down from heaven.